Can you start off by introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Nanci Hammond, and I'm the Artistic Director of the Performing Arts Center in Van Nuys, California.
And can you give us a brief background on your dance career?
My dance career covers film and television, theater, stage. I was a magician's assistant for many years with Doug Henning, who's no longer with us, and Harry Black no longer with us. I absolutely loved doing magic, but more than that, I loved dancing, and that's all I ever wanted to do from the time I was a little girl.
And who were some of your inspirations?
Some of my inspirations, my dance teacher, I was raised in Fresno, California, and my dance teacher was Denise Baines. She originally came from France, but she instilled in me the love of the arts. And then I expanded as I got into high school into theater and loved musical theater, loved choreographing, and just loved that whole experience and camaraderie that happens in the theater with your fellow actors and dancers. And the people that inspired me the most was the Carol Burnett Show. Ernie Flatt was the choreographer. The Red Skelton Show, the June Taylor Dancers. I longed to be a June Taylor dancer, and I eventually was dancer number 16 because she numbered all of her dancers. I got to do a special with her. So, and Gower Champion. Gower Champion choreographed my first equity touring company. I did In and Get Your Gun with Debbie Reynolds. So I got the opportunity to work with him as well as Michael Kidd. And then after I established my career, my favorites were Lester Wilson and Michael Peters. And I did have the fortune to be able to work with them many times. I did a TV show in Italy with Michael. So I got to travel with him and do industrials with him here in the States. And I absolutely loved his work. He was so inspirational. He changed my dancing and how I viewed my dancing, which I truly appreciated. But I always loved working with Michael.
And for those that are living under a rock, can you tell us who Michael Peters is?
Michael Peters, when I think of Michael Peters, I think of the man who brought videos to life with Beat It and Thriller, the Michael Jackson era of all those wonderful videos that you like to watch over and over and over and over again. The idea of storytelling, telling like a little tiny mini movie with his work. He was just so creative, and he worked really hard. When you rehearsed a piece for Michael, you rehearsed it, you had to be eating your Wheaties and taking your vitamins for the first day of rehearsal, because you might do one step for an hour and a half until you got it the way he liked it. But he liked to work hard, and he liked to be creative, and so it was great to be in his presence.
And how were you able to go from a stage performer, dancer, to now being an artistic director? How have you maintained longevity within dance culture?
I was going to say, age brought me to this point. I think as a dancer, you know, in our industry, they have a habit of calling dancers kids. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's just a youthful, it's a youthful art form. And so part of what I have always done is I have always stayed in class. And I continue to stay in class. And it's been a while since I have performed live, but I danced in a concert last weekend, and I'm going to be dancing again next weekend. And I just feel, when I look at the people that continue to move, we have one lady who is probably in her 80s that takes ballet class, and she takes it religiously twice a week, and she looks like she's in her 60s. It's amazing, her life force and her zest for life. So dancing is the way to go as far as I'm concerned as a human being.
And who are some of the greatest dancers, in your opinion, that the world doesn't know about? Who are some of our lost heroes in our culture, in American culture?
You know, that's a tough one, because since we've had our studio since 1992, and I think that there are so many young people that have a tremendous amount of talent that if it doesn't get nurtured, go unnoticed, if they don't get fortunate enough to end up on So You Think You Can Dance or America's Got Talent or one of those, or have a family or a community that supports them in their arts. I think that there's a lot of people that we don't even know about. The other thing that I think happens, as with the revolution or evolution of our time, that oftentimes people who are pivotal are forgotten. And so what we do in our upper division, which is our 8 to 18-year-olds, that's part of what we incorporate, is sharing people who are pivotal in their idea. Because some of the classes you could ask who a Fred Astaire was, and they don't know. And for me, that's horrifying. That's absolutely horrifying. So if we don't do things like that, I have a picture of Michael Peters, they'll be forgotten unless we really make an effort to show people where things came from. And that it's not just the latest thing that they saw on So You Think You Can Dance, or the latest. There's so many wonderful choreographers coming up that are so creative and really good at what they do. But I don't think we should forget where we came from.
Yes. And what are some of your views on street dance and how it plays into dance culture and its value?
I think that street dance was the last department or discipline that we added to our program. As with any business, we started with ballet, and it's very difficult to get a business going, and so we had to grow our business, adding things as we could. And so street dance was the last thing that we added. But I think for street dance, it speaks to so many kids' hearts that may not think that they have any particular talent, or they may not have a dancer's body. But for people who just can move with a groove and feel that inside, I think that that's something that's really important. And my husband and I started our studio in 1992, and part of our reason for that, we feel that the arts are incredibly important for the sanity of mankind, and the mental health. And right now we're in evaluations in our upper division, and I have been speaking to kids that this is a way that you can express yourself, whether you're angry, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, when you're at a loss for words, or words don't seem to express the depth of what you're feeling. You can go in a room and put on a piece of music and just move and get it out. And part of what the arts do, when we have that connection, it really soothes the savage beast, I believe. And any kind of thing that's physical, but also helps you go to an emotional place. If we don't have a way to get that out, then we end up having a society of nasty people that who don't know how to express themselves, who don't know how to reach out to another human being. And I really think that that's, as I said earlier, one of the things that I loved about theater and about the dance world, because the bonds that you form with your fellow workers, it's like no time ever passes. You have these bonds that you create in maybe a week, or maybe 2, or maybe a year. And if you go somewhere else, the next time you see each other, it's like no time has passed. That's another reason why I like dancers. I think dancers are the most awesome people on the planet.
And finally, what would you want your legacy as a dancer and as an artistic director here at your studio, what would you like that to be?
Legacy. I think part of our mission statement that we have for our upper division is that when they graduate out of our program, that they leave here not only having developed their talent and their art, but that they leave here better human beings with a deeper understanding of community and what that means. I also talk to them a lot about us being athletes, and athletes tend to be competitors. And when you look at what we have to do as far as being able to sell ourselves, going into an audition situation, there's a lot of rejection, acceptance. But we really try to foster here the idea of, yes, there's competition, but it's a friendly competition, that you want to do well, but it's okay for you to root for everybody else to do well as well. And I think that trying to help mold their humanity, and that they are good, kind, compassionate people would really be what I would like my legacy to be, and that we were able to help people achieve their dreams.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're